Hi, so for today, we are going to talk about our lesson about depreciation, the straight line method. This is still a part of engineering economy. So if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe and to follow our pages, Facebook pages, to be updated with the videos that we are going to upload. So right now, we are going to talk about straight line method. So we have 7 examples. So if you want to learn this, please stay tuned. If you want to master this, please stay tuned. So what is depreciation? First thing we are going to do is to define first what is depreciation. So basically, depreciation is defined as the the decrease in worth of a property or even an equipment due to the passage of time. Okay? So meaning we are actually computing here the value of a certain equipment, okay, after how many years. And that is what we call depreciation. Okay? The decrease in worth of a certain material or even property. So we have two types of depreciation. We have physical depreciation and we have functional depreciation. Physical depreciation is due to the deterioration by various chemical and mechanical factors on the materials composing the property. So it concerns the property here. Okay? So, and for number two, we have functional depreciation. It is due to the decrease in the demand of the equipment which it was designed, such as obsolete, I think that is the proper word there, and changes in methods of production. So meaning if there is a decrease in the demand of the equipment, therefore the value of that equipment will be going down. Okay, so decrease in the demand of the equipment. So that is depreciation. So in other words, that is just the decrease in worth. Okay, so there are many methods of how we are going to get the depreciation of a certain equipment. But for this time, we are going to focus only with the straight line method. And we have on the succeeding videos, we're going to tackle different types of depreciation. So for now, we have the straight line method. It is the simplest method in evaluating depreciation. So in this method, the depreciation charge is kept constant every year. Okay, so for our formulas, we have three formulas in the straight line method. So we have D equals C sub O minus C sub L all over the capital L, where D is what we call the constant depreciation charge per year. So this is the depreciation every year. And C sub O means the original cost. What is the original cost? Or sometimes it is called the first cost in other books. And we have C sub L, we call the salvage value. So the original cost or the first cost minus the salvage value all over capital L, which is the useful life. Okay? And by that, we can compute the constant depreciation every year. So we also have another formula, D sub N, okay, which means the total depreciation after n years. So the n here is just simply the number of years multiplied by the depreciation every year. So it's just logical to say that this formula is the total depreciation because we are just multiplying the number of years multiplied by the depreciation every year, the value of the depreciation every year. And if we expand that, so we have n times d, but we know that d will be equal to c sub o minus c sub l all over l. So this is another formula to find the total depreciation of the equipment in just a year or in n years. Okay. So and lastly, we have the third formula. We have c sub n all equals c sub o minus d sub n. So C sub n is what we call the book value after n years. After how many years? So it talks about the what really is the value of the equipment after subtracting the original cost or the first cost minus the book value after or the total depreciation D sub n after n years. Okay? So we need to memorize those formulas, the three formulas that we'll be using in terms of straight line method. Okay, so in some other books, in some other references, they may use other variables, but as for our discussion, we will be using this. Okay. So for problem number one, we have a machine cost 60,000 pesos and the salvage value is 10,000 after 10 years. Find the depreciation by straight line method. So he means here in the problem that we are going to find the D or the annual depreciation. So let's try. So if the D is being found or being solved, so we have C sub O minus C sub L all over L. And we can write the given, a machine costs 60,000 pesos. So that will be your original cost or the first cost. 60,000 pesos. Okay? And then it has a salvage value of 10,000. So the salvage value C sub L is 10,000 and the useful life is 10 years. So we have 10 years. So this is just simple substitution. So you have first cost or original cost 60,000 minus the salvage value of 10,000 all over we have 10. Okay? Our answer would be 50,000 here divided by 10. Of course, that would be 5,000 pesos depreciation every year. Okay? So that will be our answer. 5,000 pesos. Okay, that's for the number one. Okay, so for number two, Company F purchased a machine that cost 50,000 and it will last for 5 years. A salvage value was not assigned to the asset, determine the annual depreciation. So again, we are asked for the annual depreciation, which is D equals C sub O minus C sub L all over L. Based from the given, we have 50,000. Company F purchased a machine that cost 50,000. So that will be your first cost or your original cost. So if we have 50,000 and on the problem, it says that it will last for 5 years. So we can have a useful life of 5 years. And the problem also says a salvage value was not assigned to the asset. So if there's no salvage value, then the C sub L would be 0. So direct substitution. So you have 50,000 minus 0 all over just the 5 years. Okay, so the depreciation per year would be 10,000 pesos. Okay, so that would be the annual depreciation. When we say annual, that is yearly. Okay, we still have 5 problems. Hang on for those 5 problems. If you really want to learn this, just tune in. So for problem number 3, an engineer bought an equipment for 500,000 pesos. Other expenses including installation amounted to 30,000 pesos. At the end of its estimated useful life of 10 years, the salvage value will be 10% of the first cost. Using straight line method depreciation, what is the book value after 5 years? Okay, so now we are asked for the book value, and the book value is C sub N equals C sub O minus the total depreciation after N years. Okay, that is what we are after, the book value C sub N. So let us now write the given. So we have given 500,000 pesos for the equipment. So we have first cost of 500,000. Okay, and then other expenses including 30,000 pesos for the installation. So we will be adding that to the first cost or the original cost. Okay? So we have a total cost, original cost of 530,000. So, and the problem states at the end of its useful life of 10 years. So we have a useful life of 10 years. All right? The salvage value will be 10% of the first cost. The first cost is what we call the original cost also. Okay, so the salvage value C sub L will be 0.1 or 10% of the first cost or the C sub O. So if we get that 0.1, 10% of 530,000, okay, that is roughly around 53,000. Okay, that's the C sub L. So the salvage value will be 10% of the first cost. So that's 53,000. Okay. Using straight line method, depreciation, what is the book value after 5 years? So we have an N of 5 years. Okay. So the problem here, going back, the book value equals C sub O minus total depreciation. Okay. So we have C sub O, we have operation cost or total cost or the first cost, but we don't have the total D sub N. And the D sub N, total depreciation, D sub N equals ND. Okay? So we have N, but we don't have the D. So we can get still the D first. Okay? Or the total or the every year depreciation, annual depreciation. So we have C sub O minus C sub L all over L. So do you have those given? Yes, we don't. We have. C sub O is 530,000 minus C sub L. We have 53,000. Okay, and then all over the useful life is 10. So if we do that, let me just get my calculator. So you have 530 minus 53K all over 10. So that's 47,700. Okay? That's the depreciation every year. Okay, so we get already the D. Now, we know we have to get the DN. Okay? So the total depreciation in just 5 years, okay, will be N times D. So we need to get the D sub N. So we have 5 years times the D, 47,700. Okay? So the D sub N would be 5 times 47,700. Okay? That would be 238,500. That's the total depreciation after 5 years. Now we can now get the book value. The book value now will be C sub O minus TN. So our C sub O is 530,000 minus the total depreciation after 5 years. Okay, and that is 238,500. So we now have C sub N. So 530,000 minus 238,500. Okay. So that would be 291,500 pesos. That's the book value after 5 years. Let's check if we are correct. That is 291,500. So when solving this type of problem, we should identify first what is being asked and what are the given. And by that, we should solve each and every of the equation. If we are using straight line method, usually it just revolve around these three equations. Okay? So we have the book value as 291,500 after 5 years. Okay, I hope it's clear. Feel free to pause just to digest or just to focus on the solution. So no hurries for that. Okay, if understood, for problem number 4, we have to find a small machine costing 80,000 pesos has a salvage value of X at the end of its life after 5 years. The book value at the end of the fourth year is 22,400. What is the value of X using the straight line method of depreciation? So in this case, we are asked to find for the salvage value, X. Okay, so in other words, our unknown here is the salvage value C sub L. We don't know that. And the formula that only involves C sub L is the depreciation every year. So you have C sub O minus C sub L all over L. But let's take note of the given. So a small machine costing 80,000 pesos. So we have operating cost or the first cost or the total cost of 80,000 pesos. Okay. As a salvage value of X, that is the unknown. We don't know that. End of its life after 5 years. So it has a useful life of 5 years. That's our L. And then the book value at the end of the fourth year. So we have the book value. So the book value is C sub N. Okay. At the end of the fourth year is 22,400. So you have 22,400 at the fourth year. Okay, that's the book value. What is the value of x using the straight line method? So we are given the here. So we are given book value, and that is C sub O minus D sub N. Okay? So at fourth year. Okay, this fourth year. So we have C sub N, 22,400. Okay. As we can see, if we're going to go back again in our equation here, we are asked to find for the C sub L. But the problem is, we don't have, we have C sub O, we have L, but we don't have D. So we need to find the D. Okay? So we are given with book value. So we can find the D by just getting first here the D sub N. So you have C sub O is 80,000 minus D sub N. Okay? So manipulating the equation, I can transpose D sub N here, and you have 80,000 minus 22,400 here. So I have 80,000 here minus 22,400. I'll be getting the total depreciation for how many years? Again, that is for 4 years. So you have 57,600. Okay? So but dn equivalent to n times d. In this case, our n is 4 years. Okay? So substituting, we have value of d sub n. So we have 57,600 equals 4 times the d. So to get d, we divide by 4 and we get 57,600 divided by 4. We get the value of d. So 57,600 divided by 4, that will be 14,400 of depreciation every year. That is your D. Now, you are now, again, free to find for the salvage value because you have already D equals C sub O minus C sub L all over L. So you have the D 14,400 equals our C sub O is actually 80,000 minus the C sub L we don't know. All over we have 5. So cross multiply, then isolate. So 14,400 times 5 equals 80,000 minus C sub L. So we can transpose. So we have C sub L. Then we have 80,000 minus 14,400. Okay? Times 5. Okay. So if you do that, 80,000 minus 14,400 times 5. So you'll be having a salvage value of 8,000 pesos. Okay, that's our salvage value. So let's check if that's correct. That is correct. X equals 8,000, of which X is the salvage value. Okay. So feel free to take a photo or a screenshot of the solution so that we'll be able to remember it. And once the video is done, you can resolve it on your own. Okay. For problem number 5, a machine has a salvage value of 12,000 pesos at the end of its useful life of 6 years. The book value at the end of 5 years is 30,833.33. Using straight line, what is the first cost of the machine? Okay. So now we are asked to find for the first cost. Okay? So we have two formulas wherein the first cost appears. Okay? For the depreciation every year, and for the book value of C sub n, wherein we have first cost minus the total depreciation. Okay? So we will be revolving around these formulas. Okay. So we have to include or write the given. We have a salvage value of 12,000. So the salvage value is 12,000. And the useful life is 6 years. L is 6. The book value at the end of 5 years. So you have the book value at the end of 5 years is what? 30,833.33 at n equals 5 years. So that is 5 years. Okay. What is the first cost? Okay. So we need to find the first cost. All right. So how are we going to do it? So first, if we want to find the first cost in the first equation, we have trouble because we don't know the depreciation per year. Okay? So first, we're going to use C sub n to get the D sub n in order for us to get the D, in order for us to get the C sub O, or the first cost. So for the C sub n equals C sub O minus D sub n, we have a salvage value or book value of 30,833.33 equals C sub O. So the C sub O is the first cost, we don't know. And then the D sub n, okay, we don't know also. Okay? So we don't know the D sub n. So we have two unknowns here. Okay? So we have, even if we try to multiply it by ND, okay, our N will still be 5 years, but we don't know. We still have two unknowns. Okay? So now, if we do that, we have N. So we have 30,833.33. Okay? We have C sub O. Our N is 5. And if we are going to substitute D, we have C sub O minus C sub L all over L. And luckily, we have CL and L. Okay? So that's why you don't need to find the D. So you have 30,833.33 equals C sub O minus, I'm going to transpose this. So this would become negative 5 times C sub O minus C sub L is 12,000. I'm going to transpose it later, all over 6. So now you are left with an equation with one unknown, which is C sub O. So you have 30,833. You can also use shift solve. Okay, we have C sub O, then multiply it here. Negative 5 C sub O all over 6. And then negative times negative here would be positive 5 times 12,000 all over 6. Just simplifying here. So we have 5 times 12,000 all over 6. Okay? So we have 30,000 here, 833.33 C sub O minus 5 C sub O all over 6, plus we have 10,000. Okay? So we have to transpose 10,000 on the other side. So we have, this becomes 20,833.33. So we have already minus, okay? I did not write. So if we can transpose it here, 30,833 minus 10,000, that would be 20,833.33. So we are left with CO minus 5CO all over 6. Factor out C sub O. So we have C sub O, 1 minus 5 all over 6. And that is what we are going to divide on the left side. So we have divided by 1 all over 5 all over 6. 1 minus 5 all over 6. 1 minus 5 all over 6. So cancel, cancel. So in order for you to get C sub O, we just have to divide 20,833.33 by 1 minus 5 all over 6. And the answer is 125,000. Okay? Rounding off. So let me just guess, that is 125,000 pesos. Okay, that is for the straight line method. So we are correct. Okay, how about for the problem number 6? A printing equipment costs 73,500, has a life expectancy of 8 years, and has a salvage value of 3,500 at the end of its life. The book value at the end of X years is equal to 38,500. Using straight line method of depreciation, solve for the value of X. Okay, so let's just analyze this. So what are we going to get here? The book value at the end of X years. So we are asked to find for the X years, or that is the N. Okay? That is the N in the book value. Okay? So basically, that is the N. So where is the N? So we have D sub N. N times D. That is actually our formula where it appears. And also, it appears in the book value C sub N, C sub O minus D N, and that is C sub O minus ND. Okay? So, that is where the N appears. Now, let's try to write the given. A printing equipment costs 73,500. So, we have 73,500 pesos. Okay? And has a life expectancy of 8 years. So, we have 8 as L. And has a salvage value of 33,500. So, you have 3,500 here at the end of its life. The book value at the end of X years, that's the N, is equal to 38,500. So you have a book value of 38,500 at X years or N years, we don't know. So the problem here is we have C sub N, C sub O minus D sub N, or that would be C sub O minus ND. So if we substitute it, we have C sub N, yes, we have C sub N. We have first cost, yes, we are given. We are asked to find the D, we don't, the N, we don't know, but we don't have the D. But we can solve the D. So let us first solve the D. So you have C sub O minus C sub L all over L. So our C sub O would be 73,500 minus C sub L is 3,500 all over the L, which is 8. So we can now get the depreciation per year. So that would be 73,500 minus 3,500 all over 8. And that would be 8,750. And we can already substitute it here to find the value of years. So C sub N would be 38,500 equals, we have C sub O, that is 73,500 minus N times the D, which is 8,750 N. Okay, so we can just transpose. So we have 8,750 times N equals 30,500 minus 38,500. Okay, so if we do that, 8,750N, so we have 73,500 minus 73,500 minus 38,500. So that is 35. Okay, 35K. Okay, divide both sides by 8,750, of course. 8,750. So the value of N will be, divide this by 8,750, so we got 4. So the answer is 4 years. Okay? The N or the X is 4 years. And this one, I will leave you as an example or as an exercise. So in this problem, we have already the answer, the salvage value, C sub L, 50,000 pesos. So, but it's a good thing you can practice on your own so that to check if you really understand this uh, uh, discussion. And kindly comment down if you get the correct answer. Comment down, I got it. Okay? I got it. I got it correctly. Yes, I got it. Okay? So, or in Tagalog, nakuha ko. Yan. You can comment down on the comment section below. And again, this is Engineer Abat. Thank you so much for listening. Again, this is our engineering economy straight line method, and I hope you learned something about this video. And that's all. Thank you so much for listening, and God bless.